My little is dealing with depression and being long distance. I'm limited on what to do to help. When she is in the worst moods, which can last for days, she can't do anything, even our rituals, and that usually makes her feel even worse. From the DS point of view, do you have any suggestions? Okay, so first of all, I'm so sorry, and you are awesome for being willing to stay in that with her and be there and be present. That's a lot. So I'll start with this. First of all, from a dominant perspective, we're going to talk about this, then we're going to get real practical. From a dominant perspective, if you know that her rituals are causing more anxiety, you know those rituals are causing shame, not when she can do them, but when she can't, which sounds like it happens relatively consistently. Not every day, all the time, but enough for this to be something that she struggles with, okay? I think you as the dominant, the best thing you can do, take it off. Take it off her plate. Because the purpose of rituals is partly submissive training. Partly. Part of it is connection. Part of it is confidence building in your submissive. So if we're training our submissive, but they're not feeling connected or confident, that's not good, right? That's not what we want. So if your submissive is incapable of consistently following through with those rituals, despite her best intentions, despite her best efforts, she is just not healthy enough. And that's not a shame statement. That's just a compassionate statement. She's not healthy enough. Then to me, it would be cruel, and I'm not saying you're being cruel, but it would be cruel to put that expectation on any submissive, on anyone, really. Right? So I think the wisest thing you could do, Steph, is just take those rituals that she can't do when she's depressed, take them off. Now, you can either take those off of the expectations as a whole, if you feel like these bouts of depression go in and out pretty quickly, or if there are warning signs that are consistent, that you pick up on, that that she's going into this dark place, then you revoke those rituals before she goes into that dark place. And I'm a firm believer that not all depression is equal. Some depression is neurological, and there are some chemical imbalances and hormonal imbalances, and we definitely need the medication to help really realign. Sometimes depression is a result of past trauma and latent abuse that we're trying to deal with. Sometimes depression is the result of us being overwhelmed and anxious and us having no time to ourselves to think and process our thoughts. Sometimes depression is really us being triggered in one of our core wounds. And we really need to sit down and work that out. Ourselves, with a counselor, whatever. So there are many facets of depression. Depression is not just one size fits all. So for you, I would say get practical. That is something. And start asking her about, and I'm sure you do. I'm sure you already have a lot of this. I just don't know what you do. So I'm just saying I would just do a full intake. How does her friendships look? How does her self-care look? How does her nutrition look? How does her spiritual life? How does her goals look? How does her, did I say self-care time? Free time, leisure time, hobby time, whatever. How do her finances look? How are her financial goals? All of these things can be really big contributors to depression or lack thereof. So I think you can just get really practical to start it out and go, let's just look at all of these areas of your life. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you eating the right food? Are you exercising? Are you going to bed at a certain time and waking up at a certain time? Like traumas, for example, okay. So if it is trauma, okay, then, and this might be a little unorthodox. I can be a little unorthodox sometimes. Maybe if most of this incongruency that's disallowing her present, disallowing her to serve, then maybe the best move that you can make as the dominant is to I'm not saying dissolve the dynamic, but I'm saying maybe you take a step back and encourage her to get healthy, to go to therapy, and you maybe work with her as kind of a secondary mentor to the therapy to help prepare her to be submissive. You know what I mean? Because we can't expect her to operate at a place that she's just not. And if her past traumas are still so intense to her, things that have nothing to do with you are affecting you and your relationship with her, that to me is something that you need to go, ooh, okay, we need to really work on this. And as your dominant, this is what I'm requesting.